is LeeAnn Schultz, and my son is Logan. He's 11 now, just turned 11, but for us, he's a July birthday, so he's young for his grade, and anyone that knew Logan said, oh yeah, he's ready for kindergarten for sure. He's so verbal, he's smart, he's ready to go for sure. So we put him in kindergarten, and immediately he was struggling with reading, especially. Just keeping track of his letters and being able to become ready to read. In this first conference, that was the first thing she pointed out, and we were just going to keep an eye on it at that point. It wasn't that big of a concern, but as the year went on, it turned into the reading was definitely, his readiness to read was definitely still an issue, but it turned into complete avoidance of any type of work that he was to do independently. He wouldn't do anything without his teacher there to help him. And that was obviously a major concern to her. And at the last conference of the year, we talked about the possibility of keeping him in kindergarten the next year because he really didn't improve at all that first year. And it was really hard for us to make the decision, but the school counselor was involved and his teacher was involved, and they were really great. And we decided he's young, so he didn't even have to be in kindergarten this year. We'll keep him in kindergarten next year and see what happens. The next year in kindergarten, he did much better. He still had his struggles, but I felt like his teacher worked really well with him, and he had more confidence in himself than he did the first year in kindergarten. And he did okay. He did fine. There's things that we were going to watch, but it was never an issue. So he went on to first and second, and I always felt that he needed more attention and help with his schoolwork than I wish he needed. I wished that he could have had more independence and did this project, and then I could have checked on him, but it was always me pushing him along, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's practice this. It was just hard, and I felt like he's a smart kid, but school's going to be hard for him. It's just the way it's going to be, and I'm going to have to just work hard with him to get him through this. And by third grade, it was still the same thing. It was, school's hard, and it got to more spelling words, and in third grade with the spelling lists every week, there was a point where, every day we'd practice the list of 20 spelling words, and there's one day that we were sitting there practicing our words facing each other, and I'd ask him, it was again, the word was again, and I would say again, how do you spell again? A-G, okay, what's A-G-A-I-N? Okay, A-G-A-I-N, next word. Go on to the next word, and then start at the top again. Okay, so how do you spell again? A-G, and you couldn't get it, and it went on and on and on. We practiced for like a half an hour, and I just remember I was frustrated with him. I thought he wasn't paying attention, not focusing. We just practiced that word. How can you not remember? We haven't even got past the third word yet, And he was upset with me. We were just frustrated with each other. He's like, I don't know, maybe I just need to write the words. Okay, that's fine. Let's try that. And same thing. He just could not get the words to stay in his head, and I just remember thinking, this is not right, this is not normal, it should not be this hard, and I just didn't know what to do. His teachers were all saying that he's doing fine, and he did do fine. He wasn't doing horrible. There was nothing ever said about him struggling. He wasn't in special groups. He was doing okay. He was so verbal. His way of learning was through his ears, and he retained information like a sponge through his ears. So when it came to topics that he was interested in, like social studies and science and history and all those things, he was just amazing. He knows all this stuff. He's so smart. But when it comes to math facts and spelling and reading, he just can't do it. And nobody had a problem with it. He wasn't doing bad enough that anyone had a suggestion in the world of what we could do differently. It was just me feeling like something is not right, and I don't know what to do about it. So that was third grade. We get to fourth grade, and September goes by. We get into October, and I'm just waiting for the teacher conference, because this is the time where I'm going to say how I feel. I don't think it's right. We're struggling. I don't know why, but just need to talk about it. And we got there, and we had Mrs. Michio. And before I said a word, she just said exactly what I needed to hear, and that was Logan is smart. And he was there that day at the conference, and you're smart, Logan. You know a lot of stuff, and I'm so proud of you. What I'm seeing is that what's in your head isn't coming out in your paperwork, and I think you can do better, and here's what I think is going on with you. Here's why. These are the things I'm seeing. You're skipping the small words. You're not able to comprehend the things you're reading. You're copying from the board onto your paper. You're having a hard time with that. Here's what I think is going on, and I think you need to be seen by a specialist to do a vision test. And she gave us the paperwork, and to me, I was already crying at that point because she understood. She knew Logan well enough already by that point to just know exactly what his issues were, and she had an answer for what was going on, and that was the biggest relief to me. It didn't matter what the cost was. It didn't matter what we had to do at that point. We were going for it because to me, it was just an answer to our prayers. I knew something was wrong, and finally someone is acknowledging that and giving me a solution for something to do about it. And so we came for our first evaluation, and I watched the tests that Logan did, and I didn't understand all of them at that point, but just watching helped me to understand the things that were happening with him that I had no idea. I had no idea what vision therapy was. I didn't know anything about it. Didn't even have a clue. But watching him do those tests and then seeing some of the things that he did that didn't seem right, even to me, not knowing what I was watching, made me a believer. I understood that something was wrong, and even the checklist of things that to watch for. Logan had so many things on that list that I knew this was the right thing for him. And when we did the parent conference with Lisa, she hadn't met Logan. She wasn't here the day he did his evaluation. She knew him, and she didn't actually know him, but she knew exactly what was going on with him, and it was amazing to me that we found it. This is exactly what he needs, and we are going for it. We came to get started, and he did the light therapy to begin with, and it was 20 minutes every day, and it was odd. It was something that was hard to explain why it was changing things for him, but we did it regardless. He called it vision therapy, and he looked at the light and he ate popcorn while he did it, and we did that, and that was fine. But then we came for an exam, and Dr. Knippel recommended that he get glasses. His sight was perfectly fine, 20/20, but she explained that it would help him with his therapy if he wore the glasses. He didn't have to, but it would speed things along and make it easier for his eyes. And he was completely terrified of wearing glasses. It wasn't who he was, and the thought of putting them on and going in his classroom was very scary for him, and he cried. And he's not an emotional kid. He doesn't get upset, but he was very upset. And I remember thinking, we're in for this is going to be tough. And Dr. Knippel was really good at explaining to him why the glasses would help and having him understand why he needs to wear them. It's expensive, it's important, and it will help you in the long run. And if you do this now, we'll be done with this. And it doesn't even mean you have to wear them forever. So for Logan, it was really helpful for him to hear exactly what was going on and have it explained to him so that he could understand, yeah, it may not be fun to wear the glasses and to do the therapy every single day, but I understand that it's going to help me in the long run, and it's just something I have to do. So we continued on the process, and we are coming to the end. And for us, it has been difficult. It's something you have to add into your schedule every day, and when you're busy, it's just another thing that has to be done. It's homework, it's therapy, it's your sporting events, it's whatever you have going on. We have other kids. So I've done the therapy with Logan just because we've made it our thing. And even now at the end, it's kind of been, oh, I have to do therapy, but we're counting down the days. And the good thing is for Logan, he knows that it has changed things for him. So for Logan, he is big in sports. He's a swimmer. He plays baseball and football. And I remember in the summer when he started baseball, he noticed immediately that it was easier for him to hit the ball. He wasn't bad before, just like in school. He wasn't horrible. He was pretty good. Mrs. Michio even said that for what's going on with you, you're doing pretty well. So I think that helps him too, to know that there's nothing wrong with him. What we're doing is just going to make him better at what he's already good at. So he enjoyed baseball more than ever because he felt like he could hit the ball. He could see the ball better. It was coming at him and he could make contact with it. Reading was a huge thing. Logan had never read a real chapter book until 4th grade. None. Not a book in the world. He could not find anything that was interesting to him. That's what he would tell me when we'd be looking for books. I'm not interested in the kids' books, the Boxcar Children and things like that. They're just not interesting to me. I want stories that I'm more interested in. We could never find anything. That was his excuse. Time after time after time, there was just not a book that was ever interesting to him. There was this book that someone told me about at work about a boy that gets lost in the forest, and it's called Hatchet, and he has to survive in the wilderness, totally up Logan's alley. This is exactly a book that he should love to read. And I was so excited because I thought I found something really good that is his level. He should be able to read this. He's going to love it. Nope, not interested in. He'd try, not interested. That was 3rd grade. And then after he got started on his therapy, things changed. He started reading chapter books early in 4th grade, and by the end of the year, he had gone through the whole series of warrior books, which was phenomenal to me. I just couldn't believe that a kid that couldn't read anything, was not interested in reading anything in the world, would be reading these chapter books like nobody's business. He would take it in the car and read it. He'd be everywhere. He'd take his book and read it with his glasses on. It was like not Logan at all, but it was amazing to see, and he loves to read now. That's one thing, that's the biggest thing that I've noticed with him. It's a complete change. He didn't read and now he does. Personality, his self-confidence, that's for sure. Even in 3rd grade, he would still be shy about the things that he didn't enjoy doing. Writing, reading, spelling. He wouldn't get involved. He didn't really care to do those things, and I think it was because it was hard for him. He struggled, and so he just backed away from it. After he really got going on his therapy, he had his confidence back, and I think he lost that confidence right away. That first year of kindergarten, he just thought, I can't do this. Everybody else can. I don't know why my friends that are sitting around me are having no trouble with this work, but I can't do it. So once he realized that he could do it, that this therapy was helping him to do things that he couldn't do before, his personality, his mood about school, he wanted to go to school. It's not that he didn't like school, it just was more of a job for him. And now it turned into, he was ready to go back to school in 5th grade. Yeah, I'm ready to get back to school. He wanted to get back into more reading, and he just has that confidence back, which he should have.